The battlefield silence. The battlefield was quiet now. Smoke floated in the air. Fire burned in the broken metal of destroyed ships. Bodies of both humans and aliens lay across the ground. There had been a war, fast, brutal, and deadly. Now, all that remained was silence. But one alien still breathed. His name was Commander Raylak. He was once one of the strongest warriors of the Zarkari Empire, a tall, proud race known for their brutal strength and cold hearts. Raylak had never lost a battle. His name brought fear to every enemy. But now he couldn't move. A heavy piece of debris had fallen during the last explosion. It crushed his spine. His body was broken, paralyzed from the neck down. He could still hear, but nothing else. He was helpless. His army had seen him fall. His own soldiers had looked at him, just for a second, and then they turned away. The Zarkari believed that weakness was shame. A warrior who couldn't fight was already dead in their eyes. They left him behind, no final words, no honor. Just silence. For hours, Raylak lay there, staring up at the red sky, his breathing slow and rough. His pain was deep, not just in his body, but in his heart. The great Commander Raylak, left like trash. But then he heard footsteps. Someone was walking across the battlefield, carefully, slowly, checking the bodies. One by one, Raylak expected it to be another alien, a scavenger maybe, or a killer. But it wasn't. It was a human. He was tall, but not like Raylak. His armor was damaged and his face was tired. There was blood on his arm, but he didn't stop. He walked through the wreckage, gun in hand, searching. His name was Sergeant Ray Carter, a soldier of Earth's military. Most humans had already evacuated after the battle. Ray had stayed back. He had lost his unit and he was looking for survivors. He saw the alien, still alive, barely breathing. Ray raised his gun. Raylak looked at him. His eyes didn't blink. He waited for death. It would be better than this shame, but Ray didn't shoot. He walked closer, carefully, slowly. "You're still alive," Ray said quietly. "Damn, I thought all of you were dead." Raylak didn't answer. He couldn't. He just stared. Ray knelt beside him. He saw the damage, saw how broken the alien was. "Can you speak?" Ray asked. Raylak moved his eyes. That was all he could do. "I guess that's a no," Ray sighed. He looked around. The battlefield was still. He was alone. "I should just leave you," Ray said. "Your kind has killed a lot of mine." But he didn't move. Minutes passed. Ray stayed. Then he said something strange, something Raylak did not expect. "You remind me of someone. My brother," Ray said. "He was in a wheelchair, got hit by a bomb back home. People stopped seeing him as a person after that. But I didn't." He looked at the alien again. "You're not my enemy now," Ray whispered. "You're just someone left behind." He stood up, looked around again. Then he did the impossible. He started building a stretcher from broken metal and wires. Slowly, carefully. He worked like a man with a purpose. An hour later, he returned to the alien. He used all his strength to lift Raylak onto the stretcher. It hurt. His arm bled more. But he didn't stop. As he tied the alien down, Ray spoke again. "I don't know why I'm doing this. You wouldn't do the same for me." He laughed a little. "Maybe that's the point." And then, without any more words, he dragged the stretcher across the dead battlefield, one step at a time. Behind them, the silence returned. But far ahead, something new had begun. An unlikely journey. A broken alien commander and a tired human soldier walking toward something that neither of them understood yet. And somewhere deep inside Raylak, a thought returned. Why did he help me? The answer would come, but not today. Today was only the beginning. A deal with a human. He should have killed me, Raylak thought. Why didn't he? The alien warrior stared at the dark ceiling of the cave. The fire cracked softly nearby, But he felt no warmth, he could not move, he could not speak. But his mind was sharp, burning with confusion, pain, and something else. Questions. The human, Sergeant Ray Carter, had dragged him across the battlefield for hours, through ash, fire, and blood. Then Ray found a small cave in the rocks and made camp. He built a fire, gave water, even tried to clean the wounds. Raylak didn't understand it. Zarkari warriors didn't believe in mercy. They didn't help enemies, especially not broken ones. But this human did. Ray sat nearby, eating dry rations and watching the fire. He glanced at Raylak. Now and then, the alien's glowing yellow eyes followed every movement. "You're probably wondering why I didn't leave you," Ray said suddenly. His voice was calm. "I ask myself the same thing." Raylak blinked once. Ray stood up. He walked over, squatted beside him and studied his face. "You're stuck in that body, huh? Must be hell." Still, Raylak didn't respond. But Ray didn't expect him to. "I know you're still in there," Ray said. "You can hear me, so listen up." His tone changed, now more serious. "I've got no backup, no medship, no way out. You can't walk, can't fight, can't even talk. But I think you're still useful." He leaned closer. "I saw what your people left behind. Weapons, tech, some kind of drone command unit. I bet you know how to use all of it." "Relax." Eyes narrowed slightly. He knew what was coming. Ray smirked. "Let's make a deal." He pointed to himself. "I keep you alive, feed you, move you, keep you hidden." Then he pointed to Raylak. "You help me survive. You tell me somehow how to use your gear. Help me understand your world." Silence. Then Ray added, "You've got knowledge. I've got legs. We both want to live." He stood again. "So what do you say, big guy?" Blink twice for yes. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, blink, blink. Ray's eyebrows lifted. "Well, damn. I didn't think that would work." The deal was made. 3 days passed. Ray worked all day. He scouted for food, for shelter, for parts. He searched wrecked ships and gathered alien tools and weapons. He was careful not to leave tracks. At night, he talked to Raylak. "Blink once. For no, twice for yes," he repeated often. They started simple. "Is this a power core?" Blink. "Can this fix a ship?" Blink. "Is this dangerous?" Blink. Soon, they were working like a team. Ray built a communication board, buttons and lights made from broken tech so Raylak could answer more easily. Each blink or eye movement triggered commands. Slowly, they began to understand each other, and through it all, something strange happened. They stopped feeling like enemies. On the 6th night, Ray sat beside the fire, holding a small device with a red crystal in the center. "This looks like a brain sync tool," he said. "I've seen human versions, but this is alien." He looked at Raylak. "Can this connect us? Like, mind to mind?" Raylak blinked twice. Ray hesitated. "Is it safe?" One blink. "Didn't think so." But Ray smiled anyway. He placed it on the ground. "Maybe one day." Then, for the first time, he said something deeper. "You know, I lost my whole squad. They called it a strategic sacrifice. Left us behind, just like your people did to you." He looked away. "Maybe we're not that different." Raylak listened. His body couldn't move, but his mind did. In that moment, something inside him softened. Not weakness, not pity, just understanding. The human wasn't weak. He was strong in a different way. He had chosen to help, chosen to save an enemy, chosen to care. And for a Zarkari, that kind of choice was more terrifying than any weapon. Back in orbit, enemy satellites were scanning the surface. They were looking for survivors. They had orders. If you find the alien commander, destroy him. Ray and Raylak didn't know yet, but danger was coming, and their fragile alliance was about to be tested. The hunter becomes the hunted. It started with a shadow. Ray Carter didn't see it at first, but the birds did. They flew from the trees all at once, loud, fast, and scared. That's when Ray knew someone was coming. He ducked low and pressed, his back to a rock wall. His hand moved to his weapon, slowly, quietly. Behind him, inside the hidden cave, the alien warrior Raylak lay still, as always. But his eyes, they were wide open, alert, focused. Ray whispered, "You feel that?" Raylak blinked twice. Yes, for the past 8 days they had survived together, man and alien, enemy and ally. Ray hunted food. Raylak helped him decode alien tech. Together they made weapons, planned an escape, and started to rebuild trust. But now, someone else was here, and they weren't friendly. It was night when the attackers came. 3 shadows moved between trees, fast, trained, silent. Their armor was dark blue, no lights, no symbols, ghosts. Ray watched from a hill above. His heart beat faster. "These guys aren't scouts," he whispered. "They're hunters." He saw one of them scan the ground with a strange device. It beeped. Then the soldier raised his hand and pointed directly at the cave. Ray's blood turned cold. "They found us." Back in the cave, Ray moved fast. He picked up Raylak and strapped him into the hidden hover sled they built from scrap. It wasn't strong, but it could float short distances. "I told you this would happen," Ray said, breathing hard. "Someone wants you dead, and now they've found you." He turned to look at Raylak. "You ready to run?" 2 blinks. Ray smiled. "Good." Then the ground shook. A plasma blast hit a rock nearby. The hunters had opened fire. Ray ran. The chase began. Trees rushed past as Ray pulled the sled behind him. Blaster fire lit up the forest. Branches snapped. Rocks exploded. But Ray didn't stop. One of the hunters jumped from above, landing just a few feet away. Ray fired. The hunter dodged. They fought. Ray ducked, rolled, shot twice. The second blast hit the hunter in the chest. He dropped. Ray didn't cheer. He just grabbed the sled rope again and ran. An hour later, deep in the caves again. Silence. Ray collapsed near a rock wall, gasping for air. Raylak's sled floated beside him. We lost them for now, but they both knew this was just the beginning. Later, inside the new hideout, Ray sat across from Raylak. His eyes were tired, angry. "I don't get it," he said. "They're not from Earth. They're not from your side either. Who are they?" Raylak blinked once. Ray narrowed his eyes. "You know something." A pause. Then 2 slow blinks. Yes, Ray leaned forward. "Tell me." He activated the blink comm board. 1 word at a time appeared on the old screen as Raylak blinked in code. Exile. Secret. Zarkari code. Ray stared at the words. "Wait. You were exiled?" More blinks. More words. "No, too much. They sent them to finish me." Ray stood up, walked in a circle, then looked back. "You mean your own government is trying to erase you?" Raylak blinked twice. Ray shook his head. "You risked your life for your people, and now they want you dead. Damn." Then he looked at Raylak with new eyes, not as a monster, not even as a soldier, but as someone who had been betrayed, just like him. The next morning, the hunters returned, but this time, Ray and Raylak were ready. Ray had set traps using alien tech. Raylak guided him, his mind sharp, memory perfect. Lasers, motion mines, sonic flares. The first hunter stepped on a trap. A bright light flashed. He screamed, then vanished. The second tried to flank. Ray shot him through the trees. The third ran. The cave stayed silent again. Ray leaned against the wall, panting. "We won." Raylak blinked once. "No." Ray frowned. "What do you mean?" On the comm board, Raylak typed 1 word. "More." Far above the planet, a signal was sent. More ships were coming. More hunters. This was no longer just survival. This was war. Broken bodies, unbroken wills. His body was broken, but his will was unshaken. Raylock couldn't move his legs, couldn't lift a weapon, couldn't even stand. But his mind, it was still sharp, still dangerous. He was once a feared Zarkari war commander, trained to lead armies and crush empires. Now he lay on a hoversled, silent and still, yet each day he refused to give up. And Ray Carter saw it. "You're tougher than anyone I've met," Ray said one morning, kneeling beside him. "And I've fought tanks." Ray was building something, a strange suit, part armor, part exoskeleton. He'd been gathering pieces from wrecked alien ships, slowly putting them together. Wires, metal, servos, microprocessors. He didn't fully understand it, but Raylock did. Through blinking commands, Raylock guided Ray step by step. They worked together, hour after hour. Ray's hands, Raylock's mind. They were building legs. It wasn't easy. Ray made mistakes. Parts overheated. Batteries exploded. Raylock was burned once, not badly. But he didn't blink in pain. He blinked continue. Ray looked at him. "You're something else, big guy." The alien blinked twice. Yes. Day by day, the machine took shape. The frame wrapped around Raylock's body. It used pulse motors, neural boosters, and a Zarkari biocircuit. Ray connected the final piece. "It won't fix your spine," he said, "but it might carry your body if your brain can control it." He held up the headband, a brain-link device. "Ready to try?" Raylock blinked once, then once more. Ray smiled. "That's close enough to a yes." The moment arrived. Raylock's armor hummed. The lights on the suit turned blue. Ray stepped back. "All right, Commander, show me what you've got." Nothing happened. 5 seconds. 10. Then, a finger twitched. Ray's eyes widened. A full hand moved. The arm lifted, slow, shaky. Then both legs straightened under the frame. And for the first time in 12 days, Commander Raylock stood. Even Ray forgot to breathe. "You're standing," he whispered. Raylock didn't blink, didn't move, but a sound came from the suit. Deep, mechanical, cold, human. Ray took a step back. "You can talk?" The voice crackled again, briefly, only through the suit. Limited words. Ray laughed. "That's more than enough." Raylock took a step forward. It was slow, heavy, but it was real. "I knew you weren't done," Ray said. Raylock turned his glowing eyes toward him. "Now, we fight." Later that night, the two sat near the cave entrance. Ray cleaned a rifle. Raylock sat, armor open, letting the batteries cool. "You're not just fighting for survival anymore, are you?" Ray asked. Raylock didn't answer. Ray continued. "You want to fight back, not just run." Raylock blinked twice, then with his mechanical voice said, "They erased my name, my rank, my honor. I will erase their command." Ray nodded. "I lost my unit too. I don't care about medals anymore, but I care about making things right." He looked over at Raylock. "I think we make a good team." Raylock stared for a long moment, then finally blinked once. Yes, but war was never fair. The next morning, the sky turned red. 3 Zarkari ships landed in the distance, not scouts, not hunters. War machines. They had tracked Raylock's location again. They weren't just here to kill him. They were here to wipe the entire area off the map. And this time, the fight wouldn't be in the shadows. It would be out in the open. Man and alien. Side by side, a broken body, a haunted soldier. But together, something stronger than both. Unbroken wills. The betrayal. Code: not all enemies come from the front. Some stab from behind. The cave was cold. Outside, war machines moved closer. Zarkari ships scanning the forest, searching. But inside, something colder had entered the air. Trust was cracking. Ray checked the perimeter again. Motion sensors, silent. Traps, armed. Nothing unusual. Still, something felt wrong. Too quiet. Too perfect. He walked back to the cave. Raylock sat in his exosuit, resting. Blue lights pulsed along the armor. Ray frowned. They found us again. That's 3 times in 5 days. I don't believe in luck. Raylak's mechanical voice replied, slow and steady. They have our location. Someone sent coordinates. Ray froze. You think someone betrayed us? Yes. Ray's grip on his rifle tightened. But who? Only we knew the exact cave. Raylak stared, his eyes glowed. Only you. The air turned heavy. Ray stepped back. You think I gave them our position? No answer. Just silence. Ray laughed nervously. Seriously? After everything I've done? I saved you, built your armor. I didn't sell us out. But Raylak didn't blink, didn't move, didn't believe him. Yet. Ray looked down, then slowly reached into his jacket and pulled out a small black device. I found this in my gear yesterday, didn't put it there. It's Zarkari tech, a locator. He tossed it on the ground. It wasn't mine. It was planted. Raylak's suit scanned. The lights flashed red. Military signal, auto ping, silent beacon. Ray's face was pale. They tracked us through it, and now they'll come again. He looked Raylak in the eye. Tell me something, Commander. Do you trust me? Raylak blinked once. No, Ray didn't look angry. He looked hurt. Later that night, Ray sat alone outside the cave. No fire, no light, just darkness. He stared at the stars. They don't understand, he whispered to himself. First, my own people left me. Now this. His voice trembled. I didn't betray anyone. Behind him, the shadows moved. A soft metal sound echoed. Raylak's armored steps. He stood beside Ray, said nothing. After a long moment, the alien spoke. I was betrayed once, by my second in command. He told the High Council I was planning a rebellion. Ray didn't respond. Raylak continued. They erased my name, sent me to die on the battlefield, alone. A pause. I know what betrayal feels like. Another pause. Then, quietly, I don't think it was you. Ray looked up. Then who? Raylak turned his head to the sky. Someone on my ship. May still be alive. Ray's eyes narrowed. You mean, they're here? Yes. And they want me dead before I speak the truth. The next morning, an explosion shook the ground. Ray and Raylak rushed out. What they saw was terrifying. One of their own traps had been disabled. By hand. Someone had walked right into their safe zone and left a message, burned into the rock with plasma fire. You should have died. Ray read the words. Aloud, then turned to Raylak. You were right. Raylak nodded slowly. We are being hunted by more than soldiers now. We are hunted by someone who knows us. Ray gripped his weapon tighter. Then let's find them first. Deep in the trees, a figure watched through a scope. Not Zarkari, not human, something in between. Wearing hybrid armor. Modified suit, no flag, no code. But inside their helmet, the voice whispered, target alive, but not for long. They tapped their communicator and gave the final order. Bring in the Reaper. Units, end this. Back at the cave, Ray and Raylak prepared for war. They had no backup, no reinforcements, but they had each other. And now, they had a target. Warriors of two worlds, once they were enemies. Now they stand side by side. The ground trembled. Above the forest, clouds burned red. Warships circled the sky like vultures. Dropships landed one by one, silent, deadly, full of machines built for one purpose: kill Commander Raylak. Deep underground, inside a hidden cave system, two figures prepared for war. One was human, one was alien, but their hearts beat with the same fire. Ray Carter locked the final piece onto his chest armor. It was old, cracked, and barely working, but it was enough. He loaded his rifle, checked his explosives, and looked at his partner. Raylak stood in his exoframe, taller than any human, glowing armor pulsing like a heartbeat. The suit made him strong again, but the strength came from within. They nodded, once. No words. Words weren't needed anymore. They will send everything, Raylak said through his robotic voice. Reapers, drones, elite ground teams, they won't stop. Ray smiled, tired but sharp. Then we don't stop either. He handed Raylak a weapon, custom-built from Zarkari and human tech. A heavy pulse rifle wired to Raylak's armor, made. "This for you," Ray said. Raylak took it slowly. He looked down at the human weapon, then back at Ray. "You built this for an enemy," Ray shrugged. "Nah, built it for a friend." The first attack came at sunrise. Reapers, half machine, half alien, smashed through the forest. Ray hid in the rocks, sniping targets one by one. Raylak stood like a tower, his pulse rifle thundering. Every blast from his gun tore through steel. His armor took hit after hit, but he did not fall. For the first time since the war began, the enemies saw something they didn't expect. Fear, not from humans, not from aliens, but from something new. A bond stronger than blood or race. Two warriors, of two worlds fighting as one. In the middle of the chaos, a voice called out through the smoke. "Commander Raylak." They turned. A new figure stepped into view, wearing a hybrid battlesuit, part human, part Zarkari. A high-ranking traitor, the one behind the betrayals, the one who planted the tracker. Ray raised his rifle. "Is that our guy?" Raylak's eyes burned. "That's the one who erased me." The final fight began. The traitor moved fast, using stolen tech to teleport short distances. Ray threw grenades, setting fire to the battlefield. Raylak charged forward, his suit sparking, his rifle roaring, but the traitor was clever. He wounded Ray, cut across his shoulder. Ray fell back, bleeding behind a broken tree. The traitor laughed. "Humans are weak." But Raylak stepped in front of Ray, shielded him. "Not this one." They fought blade to blade, blast to blast. Raylak's armor cracked, his legs gave out. But he didn't stop. Ray stood again, coughing blood, and fired one last shot, straight through the traitor's chest. Silence. The traitor fell. The enemy signal died. The remaining Reapers shut down, lifeless, broken, lost. Ray dropped his gun. Raylak collapsed beside him, both bleeding, both exhausted, but alive, together. Hours later, as the sun set behind the shattered trees, Ray sat beside Raylak, bandaging his arm. "We survived," Ray said. Raylak's voice crackled, low but steady. "This is not just survival. This is beginning." Ray looked up. "Beginning of what?" Raylak turned his head slowly. "Alliance." Above them, the Zarkari High Command received a transmission. "Commander Raylak is alive." Another voice replied. "And he is no longer alone." The legend begins. Some heroes are born. Others are made. On battlefields no one remembers. In stories no one dares to tell. The war was over. For now. The forest where it all began was quiet. Birds returned. Smoke faded. The bodies of machines. And traitors rusted under the golden light. But deep inside a ruined cave, two warriors stood tall. Not as enemies. Not as soldiers. But as something else entirely. Ray Carter limped to the edge of the valley, looking down at the burned land. His arm was still wrapped, his armor scarred and dented, but his eyes were sharp, alive. Beside him stood Commander Raylak, his exosuit glowing faintly, patched together with wires, bolts, and determination. He no longer looked like a broken alien. He looked like a leader. "Back then," Ray said quietly, "I thought we'd both die here." Raylak didn't respond at first. Then his voice hummed through the armor. "You gave me a reason to live. Now I give you one to lead." Ray raised an eyebrow. "Lead?" Raylak stepped forward, scanning the sky. Word has spread. Some humans believe the story. Some aliens whisper about it. Ray frowned. "About what?" "That a human saved a fallen warrior. And together they killed the Reaper Command." Ray chuckled. "Sounds like a myth already." "It's more than a myth," Raylak replied. "It's a beginning." 2 weeks later, across both human and alien networks, a signal was sent. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a warning. It was a message, a simple video. Two warriors standing together, One human, one Zarkari. Ray spoke first, calm, clear, and real. To those who still believe in war, in hate, in silence, I was like you once, but I met someone who changed that. Then Rayleigh stepped forward. I was left to die. Betrayed. Crushed. But a human refused to let me rot. That's not weakness, that's strength. Ray ended it with 4 words. We fight for peace. The message went viral. Millions watched it. Some laughed. Some listened. But many believed. Small rebel groups in alien territories raised flags bearing the symbol of 2 worlds, interlocked. Former human outcasts began to speak of the silent war and the 2 who stopped it. They had no medals, no army, no throne, but they had something stronger. Respect. Back on the planet, Ray prepared a small ship for launch. Rayleigh stood beside him. You still sure about this? Ray asked. Yes, Rayleigh said. My people need to know I'm alive. Ray smirked. And what if they try to kill you again? Rayleigh looked up at the stars. This time, I won't be alone. Ray stepped into the ship with him. 2 warriors, 2 friends, heading straight into the heart of the galaxy. They began as enemies. They became survivors, then partners, then legends. And now, they were a symbol of change, of unity, of hope. Because sometimes the smallest decision to save someone no one else would can shake the stars.